So I got a few minutes here. The farmer that lives south of us is going to be dropping off the tilt table today. It's the Lakeland piece of equipment. That's not him. So I'm just waiting for him, so I thought I would just grab this quick video. So he's delivering a tilt table that he bought. He didn't end up using it. It's a Lakeland table. And then we're going to be waiting for the new equipment to come probably mid-September. So I'm going to get the thing unloaded. We're supposed to be using our tractor to do it. And then going to experiment a little bit with the tilt table on my yearling rams. So we're going to try that out and see how it works. Oh, fiddle with it later. Okay. So today I'm going to try using the tilt table on some of the ewes. I'm going to do a little practice run. So it's Friday. We got the tilt table on Wednesday. It got delivered here from the farmer that we bought it from, used-ish. He said he hardly ever used it. We washed it down and then took it out to the 4 yearling rams and practiced it on them. And it went really well. We learned a lot of stuff just running them through. So like I said, I've got the ewes fed. They're eating right now. I got to go move the rams to a new section of grass because I'm moving the adults now. I don't know if I told you that. Or the yearlings, I mean. I'm moving them around. And then once I get that done, I'm going to come in and set up the tilt table with some of the gates here in the barn. Hopefully some of the ewes, I'll be able to get them to come in and just practice with them. I feel like I need to train them on it so that they're comfortable with it, because in a couple days we've got to do a dewormer. It's time to deworm the ewes, and we'll be using it for that along with a weight scale and stuff. So that's what's going on today. Wish me luck. So today I'm going to be using the new tilt table, and I've rigged up a system to allow us to feed in 1 sheep at a time, hopefully, get her weight, and then Rich will be administering a dose of the dewormer that we're going to be using. So after I weigh her, Rich will probably grab the weight, and then I'm going to send her through the trim table, or the tilt table, I mean. We're going to compress her. We're not going to tilt her today, but we do want to get them the feeling of the pressure. We did a few feet on Friday. It worked out really well. Even the lambs were able to fit in there, but we think we need to put some padding, extra padding in it for the lambs. So we're going to do that today. So hopefully it goes well and the setup is going to work for us, because we're trying to remove all the stress points in the process for both the sheep and ourselves physically. So this is kind of acting like a crowding tub. So as I remove some, I'll just be moving the panels in tighter and tighter as we go. The gate I will open. I've tightened the cord so it opens and closes easily. That's my checklist with all of the sheep information that I'm going to record their weights and what we dosed them with. Here's the scale. So I stand on the scale. We tear me out. There's the meter, so it's out of the way of the sheep. Hopefully they don't manage to get out and get over there. And that's the digital scale that we'll use to get their weight, because when you deworm a sheep, you have to make sure you have a proper dosage based on their body weight. So then we're gonna send them through here. I'm gonna have to push them in with my feet because they don't want to go in there. They do resist a little bit, but then once they get in, you'll see this going on. They go through this fairly long chute for Shetland, right? I mean, it's 2 times the length of most of them. But then their heads get locked in this gate, and then Rich will be able to administer the dewormer, and then we're going to put them on a new pasture, so this door will be open, and hopefully they will just head on out. So that's the master plan. We'll see if it works the way I want it. This is the table I got set up for Rich to do the dosing, and also he's got a little spreadsheet with all the doses and weights, so it's easy to grab it. So this is us early in the process, and we did a lamb, this particular example, and did pretty well. Got a good weight on her. The camera died before we really had a smooth process going, so we're still working out the bugs here, but I thought I would still show you. One of the things that's going to be better going forward with the new system is that I won't have to open that gate like that. There'll be a chute that they'll go in. And I still will have to man the scale because we really need to get exact weights with these size of these lambs. She's only 35 pounds. And so the tolerance is pretty low for error here. So we just have to make sure we get it as exact as possible.
I'm going to do 1.5 on her because she's 35.
One thing.
35 pounds. How much?
1.5.
1.5.
Because we were trying to figure out how to process them through the system, we had to repeat their weights and dosages to each other because we kept on forgetting. So we're very repetitive here, but it was helpful because we had a lot going on. This little ewe fed in really nicely. Some of them I have to really give them a shove with my feet, but like I said, I think eventually they're going to get the hang of it. I'll do another video once all the systems are here, when we run them through again and plan it a little better. They're she-locked in really nicely. And then squishing in the sides there just to get them to feel secure. And it did seem like they feel comfortable once they're squished in there. Rich opened the pads before he opened the gate, I think, in this particular one.
1.5.
You want to do that differently. You want to open the gates and then release the sides because it seems to really push them out. But overall, I really like the system. I think it's going to work great for us, especially once they get trained on it and more comfortable with it. I'm really looking forward to getting the rest of the system. Bye-bye. Thank you. So I'm doing the Fiber Festival tomorrow. It's called the Indie Dyers Spectrum. I've never done it before. This will be my first year. It's run by a friend of mine. She's got a farm in New York, and so she's putting it on. It's about 2 hours drive from here south. I was going to go today and set up, come home, and then go to the show tomorrow, but it's 2 hours, so that'd be 4 hours out of my day I'd lose today, and I'm behind. I still have quite a bit of stuff to put together and get ready. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really fun. It's the first festival for the fall season this year. And I know a lot of the vendors that are going to be there. And I already know one of my friends is coming because she's bringing me some packaging. Recycled packaging, which is, you know, how I ship out my product. I always reuse. I have very rarely used any packaging I bought. The only packaging that's new that I use is the U.S. Postal Service Priority Mail. Everything else I reuse. So she knows that, and so she brings me stuff. She brought me a huge box of stuff the last festival. So anyways, looking forward to that. So today what I'm doing is getting stuff packed up. So the van will be loaded up tonight so that I can get up early tomorrow. Probably I'll get up around 4. Fiddle around a bit. If I leave at 4:30, it gets me there at 6:30. Setup starts at 7. So I've got a little wiggle room there. So what I thought I would do is just go through some of the wool. I don't have a ton of wool. It seems like with COVID, a lot of the online activity, people are more comfortable now sourcing their wool online. So a lot of my wool goes around the country, you know, in terms of shipping from my website. So when I go to festivals, it seems like I don't have anywhere near as much to offer. So it's a nice tailored little collection that I'll have at the festival. So I just wanted to go through the stuff that I've got. And then I will be bringing all the wheels, the Magic Craft wheels. That's sort of my new thing. And the sign, I did something fun. I put a request out to my friends on Facebook and Instagram with the draft of the sign that I want to put out to encourage people to try spinning wheels. So then I got so much feedback, and I'm overjoyed because I love a lot. I mean, all the ideas were awesome. So it started out fairly plain, just please try the wheels. And based on all the input, I'm now doing a giveaway. I'm also going to go to the pharmacy and try and find some plastic or some booties, like for clean room or hospital rooms, because one person said that the reason she doesn't try wheels is because she's afraid she's going to get the wheels dirty. She doesn't like to take off her shoes. So I'm going to get those booties and have them like in a little box if you want to pull a pair out and use them to try the wheels. Just really fun ideas. I was really happy. So I'm going to show you right here the before and after of the sign, and then at the end of this episode, which probably will be after I get back from the festival, I'll do a little summary of, you know, how many people tried the wheel, and maybe I'll do the drawing. That's what I'll do. I'll do the drawing on the YouTube at the end of this video. So I'm going to go through the wheel projects here and just sort of show you the stuff that's going to be available at the sale. A lot of it still has to get packaged and marked, and a lot of it I still haven't decided how I want to pack it, but we'll go through that and have some fun. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be working on is I've got this fiber from Matilda, and I weighed it before. It was 9.75 ounces. This is the fiber that is the shorter staple length with a very curly tip. And so I thought it'd be fun to now package this up and offer it to somebody that might want to make their own bumbly yarn. Normally I do 1 ounce packets, but what I'm going to do, I think, is 3 packets of 3 ounces, because 3 ounces makes plenty of fiber for a bumbly hat, if that's what you want to use it for. And I think what I'm going to do is make 1 moret from these 2 bits here, 1 mostly white, and then 1 a blend. And I think that'll be fun. So I'm going to work on that and get that packaged up. All right, so I got my scale here. Set it up for ounces, which is already there. It's at 0. So I'm going to try and get a blob of moret. So the skeins of bumbly yarn are usually 3 ounces, but that also includes the plying the single. So this is plenty. You could actually flick some of this to get the single that you want for the plying part of it. I don't know, I just feel like this is a fun thing for somebody to mess around with. So the point where the brown and the white come together, it's really, there's this really cool piece of it where they're sort of naturally blended together. So I'm going to keep that over with that variegated patch. There'll probably be too much brown here. I'll probably have more than 3 ounces. So we'll just adjust. It's not a big deal. 3.73. I did see a little white in here. I'm going to pull that out. It's so fun, isn't it? Alrighty. So I'm at 1.84, 3.5. Well, so I do bag my wool that I'm selling and packaging in new bags. I just don't think that people like to get their wool in recycled bags. All right, so there's that, the moret one. And it's a little bit on the high side, but that's okay. We'll see where we land here. If I have to, I'll pull some of it out for my blended one. So you can see here, I actually got to turn the light on, so it's probably going to wreck the footage quality, but oh, that light's broken. It's not plugged in. All right, whatever. So there is a little bit of brown here, so that's going to go in the blended bit. Because she's a spotted ewe, so she'll have little patches of browning with the white. There's more there. It's kind of hard to find pure white with her. Okay, I'm going to go this way. Because you know what? If you get a little bit in there, that's what the sheep looks like. So that's when you get it from the farm. The sheep kind of call the shots, don't they? As far as what you get. Today's the day I normally do my live from the barn, which I'm not going to be doing today because I'm just trying to get myself ready for this event. So sorry about that to all those people that enjoy that time with the sheep. Fridays at noon. That's on my Facebook farm page. It's just a nice little chance to really get intimate with all the, normally we hang out just with the ewes. But I'm just so behind here today. See where that gets me. That's 3.22. And then what do I have here? My hands are so coarse. I really should be wearing cotton gloves or something. 2.94. I want to get that one up to 3. So I'm going to pull from here because I know I had a lot of this. I don't know if you can hear the cats tearing around upstairs. They're not kittens anymore, officially. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. And now we have another cat. Somebody dropped him off, I'm certain of it, because he's pretty friendly. 3.32. You know, you live in the country and that's what happens. People drop their animals off. It's pretty abhorrent, but it happens a lot. So we've been feeding them, and I can't bring them in the house. I don't know what we're gonna do. All right, so that's Matilda. So now all I have to do is get exact weights, price it out, and I have a pricing scale based on whether it's washed or not or whatever. I don't really know what it is off the top of my head. So price these, make up a tag, and then in my software, I'll make a barcode label and put that on here. So the day of the event, I can just scan it and it all computes. It's really awesome. So that's the Matilda. And I will probably put little binder clips on these and hang them on the, I've got like little pull thingies that come out of the grid wall. So that's that. So that's Matilda. Ready to go. So all of these things I'm showing you are only available right now. They'll only be available in my booth. I don't have them on the site available on the online store, is what they call it. So once the festival's over, I'll go through it all and I'll make everything available on the online store. But it's too hectic to try and keep track of 2 different channels. This bag, there's a little story here. I think I told it before, but whatever. The person that purchased Ty's fleece in the auction has sustained an injury, and so she's not able to process the fiber. So she asked if she could return her fleece, and I was like, yes, you totally can return Ty's fleece. So I was gonna process it, but it is so nice, really nice staple length. So what I decided to do was to put it into those 1 ounce packets that I make up. So that's what this is. There's 23 1 ounce bags of Ty. There she is right there. This is less than 1 ounce. This is what was left. So I might take this and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, play around with it, but you can see, beautiful. It's about a 3-inch staple, really nice crimp, and a pretty color. She's a fawn cat nugget. So those are going to be available. And I like to do the 1 ounce, this is raw, so this is unwashed. And I like to do that because there are people that are a little bit hesitant about purchasing an entire fleece. So this is a way to give them a kind of a gateway into the world of raw fleeces. So that's that. And I can put that up here. I just went to Arts Festival last weekend. Elmwood Arts Festival. And it might not have been last weekend, but there's a organization, it's called Stitch Buffalo. And I don't really 100% understand it. But it's about people that come to Buffalo from other countries and live there. And they have these crafts that they bring with them from their cultures. And so they make these items and then they offer them at this store. It's called stitchbuffalo.org. So this is created by Halezi, is her name, and it's from Burma. It's a large bird. She caught my eye and I had to have her. I thought she was beautiful. So she just sort of sits up here and watches me do my work. I don't have a name for her yet, but I just love her. So, okay, next wool thing is this basket here. So there's a lot of stuff in here. We'll go through it one by one. So this is a skein of yarn from Matilda. You guys have probably seen this, but I have to, I still have yarn drying upstairs too. I gotta get it. So this one I'm gonna count it out. So I count each strand, and based on the distance when it's not stretched out from here to here, I'll do a calculation. I have this little thing on my spreadsheet to determine what the yardage is. I'll mark this up. I got to print out the tag, so I got a lot to do here. But this is Matilda spun, and I tried to just do the cream colored pieces of her, but little bits of brown they sneak in there. So that's going to be a skein in the shop. This is a Indie Dyers Spectrum is what it's called. And like I said, I've never been to this one before, so I'm guessing we're probably going to see a high concentration of knitters, which I'm going to try. I'm going to have my wheels there. I'm going to try and bring them into our world. So here's 3 skeins of Koki's Bumbly yarn. I got to mark these. Now, I wasn't putting yardage on these before. I was just doing weight on the Bumbly because I know how much it takes to make a hat, but last festival somebody had asked me yardage, so I'm going to calculate that as well, just so that we have it. So there's 3 skeins of that I need to count, weigh, mark, put them in the shop, make the barcode. I have so much to do. It's so exciting. All right, there's that. Okay. Oh yeah, I got to do that. So I got a Bumbly skein from Nita. Nita's a little bit on the darker side compared to Koki. Another Bumbly skein that I have to do all the stuff. My little checklist. Also from Nita is 10.7 ounces of Bumbly fiber that I'm going to offer. And I also have the single that I made of Nita, and I think what I'm going to do is wind this up on a cake and just put it next to this so that if somebody just wants to use this to ply with, they can. So I got to get that put together. Gotta do that. Now what? What else? Now what's in this bag? All right, so here in this bag we've got stuff that's already marked, I think. Bumbly kits. Yeah. So 3 skeins of Bumbly yarn to make the hat. I do put the pattern right on the label. It's really a simple hat, so it's not really a big thing. And then I have this shawl I bring to show people just how soft our soft Shetland wool is. This is from a ram that we don't have anymore. I don't remember what happened to him. Bond. This is older wool. Bond is maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. And actually, I thought this was spectacular back in the day, and I'm now feeling it, realizing that we're actually much softer than this now, but he is really nice. So I bring that just as a demonstration for people. Because you know what, I do a lot of talking. There's not a lot of selling in my booth. I feel like I'm spending a lot of my time educating and, you know, exposing people to stuff they weren't aware of. Okay, so now I gotta mark this. This is just wool left over from Ophelia. Oh, that's what that gray stuff is. Okay, so I was working on Ophelia, and I had just this little quantity left, which is, she was sheared. I didn't rue her, but she's got the really nice clean tips, so I'm just offering this for somebody maybe they want, I don't know, do something with it. It was left over, I had no use for it, so I'm just gonna put it in its curly bits. So I gotta mark that. I'm now remembering, I sold somebody, what in the heck is that? Let's tie. I sold a hat recently online, which is really unusual. All right, so then I have a few hats here. This is one of those ones I make with the butt ends. So I don't, normally I don't try to make my 2 plies match. Oops, that's the bet. I'll get right back with you guys. Okay, so then the other thing I got these 4 skeins. So these 2 are from, I always get them mixed up, Portia. She had really short staple length, and I think in one of the videos I said I was going to pull the butt ends because there was a break. I started doing that and it just got very tedious, and I didn't see the value in it, because what I did then was I just put it all in the drum carder and spun two plies of that more textured stuff. And I actually have one, this is a bat of exactly what I did. I just made this one into a bag because I thought someone might want to try it. So it's just really textured. The tips are still intact. There are some instances of that butt end fiber on there. You can leave it in there and make it like a tweed effect. Ooh, that just went in my coffee. Or pick it out as you go. So that's that. This is extremely soft. She's, you know, one of those ones where it seems like the shorter the fiber, the finer it is for some reason. And she's just, it's like velvet. It's so soft. So I got 2 skeins there that I have to mark. It's, the thing I found interesting is I spun this with the woolen technique, because now I know words about spinning, but truly did that with a long draw, the whole thing, and then plied the 2 together. Find it interesting about this. This is from Septima. This is the fleece that I purchased back from another fleece customer. Was very happy to do it. I'm doing this one a little bit differently as well, and I will show you this. I'll make another video later on. But what I'm doing with this is I'm flicking it, and then I'm putting the flick locks on the drum carder, and then I'm dizzing roving off of the drum carder, and the roving pieces are as long as the circumference of the drum. And then spinning these in a worsted method. And I just found it interesting. They're sort of similar, these 2 use, and the same amount of crimp and whatnot, but I just found it interesting that the one that I was doing in a more of a long draw woolen, this is them dry on the same nitty knotty. It's a little bit less, although it's still pretty squishy. But I just thought that I would love this whole thing. I find that so interesting when stuff dries like this. So anyways, I gotta measure these, weigh them, make a label, barcode, and get those ready to go. This was like a last minute scramble to get these done. I have more of Septima. I'm actually gonna be doing my demonstrations. I'm gonna demo on the drum carder at this event. this process that I've just started using that I kind of like, especially for very short ones. If it's a longer staple, I'll spin it from the lock very happily. But shorter staples, it's kind of hard. It's hard on the hands, and it's very, you're constantly grabbing more locks. So I think that's a new thing for me. I don't know if there's anything else I want to tell you about that. But anyway, so that's something I have to do. I have a couple of things that are just really old. So this one is from 2016. It's from Vogue, we had a brown U, which is really nice. And it never sold at the time when this was the type of fiber that we were offering. And so I've just kept it and I've held on to it. And I've just all of a sudden reached the conclusion that there's nothing wrong with this fiber. It's not what I'm breeding for anymore, but someone's gonna find a home for this. So I'm gonna mark it at a pretty good discount from what I normally offer my fiber at. That Ziploc doesn't work. So this was from 2016. See, yeah, she had an average fiber diameter of 27.6, right? Most of my stuff now is 20, 21. It's consistent. Coefficient of variation is 18.2, so that's good. So anyways, so it's gonna be like a, I don't know, sale bin maybe or something like that. I don't have a sale bin, but I'm gonna offer it. What the heck? And then I also have, there was a point in time when I did dye. I don't any longer. But people would have come into my booth and asked me for red and orange for seasonal stuff. So I made these a while ago. I'm just gonna pop them in a little bag or something and maybe somebody will grab them up. I haven't brought these to a show in a long time, but it's time for them to get out of here. So, okay, remember the little bag of fiber from Ophelia. I saw this is a gray bumbly yarn. Was struggling to remember who I made it out of, but I made it from Ophelia. So that's a good thing I went through all this. So this is from our Ophelia, a beautiful skein of bumbly that I got to mark. And a skein from our Gilly that needs marking. Gilly's just a really pretty, creamy, fun, can't mug it. Little bits, you'll see little oatmeal bits in there, but most part it's just a fawn. So that's going to have to get measured and marked. And I do all of that at my computer, at my desk. Portia. So I think I've said this before. There's an appalling amount of work as a farmer that is done at the computer these days. And it's really not video worthy. I mean, I'm really just using spreadsheets, graphics, downloading photos for my labels and stuff. But who'd have thought, you know? Wish I could spend more time outside with the animals, but it is what it is. I did spend a little time with them yesterday. Here's the footage of that. They are on the large pasture and it's been mowed and they're acting very restless. I don't really understand it, and I'm not sure if this is how they behave when the pasture height is really high, but they just seem like they're looking for the bigger, better deal. Like they're not like settling in. They're always like moving around. And the other thing I find hilarious is I go out there on the pasture with my camera, and for whatever reason, this time of year, it's freaking them out. Whenever they see me, they go running. They go running into the barn. I've just put them on the pasture like 3 days ago, so it might be that they still think that when they see me, they think it's time to go in the barn because I've been graining them. And I've been graining them because I took them off pasture because our pastures were pretty depleted. And I was just wondering if maybe that's explains their crazy behavior lately, but anyways, so I did spend some time with them. Wanted to get nicer footage, but this is what I got. And then I got a bunch of finished items. I don't normally, these don't really sell, but they're very handy when people want to know what you can make with stuff. So I'll have these sitting out. So here's a hat that uses the bumbly yarn as trim, which is really cute. And then this is my mill spun yarn, this black stuff on the top. I don't even remember what this is. I think this might be from roving that I don't have anymore. And then the bumbly yarn for the trim. Very cute. This pair of socks I have had for, let me see if I even have a year. This is, I mean, it's our super old business card. Totally doesn't represent what we offer on the farm today, but there you go. And this is the bumbly hat that I use to demonstrate the bumbly hat pattern. It's a little bit bigger. Another bumbly hat. These all go up. I've got these little hat holder thingies in the booth. And I got this that I show. This is the thrummed, using the soft Shetland wool for thrumming. So that always gets a lot. I don't sell these. This is just to show people stuff. Enormous pair of socks, another pair of socks, just a bunch of stuff just to sort of, sometimes, I mean, I do offer a lot of them for sale, and it's funny because sometimes it's like, oh man, I don't have time to make another one of those. You're welcome to it, but now I gotta, and it's hard for me to knit with the cats now. In fact, it's impossible for me to knit with the cats. If I knit, I have to knit down here. If I try and go upstairs where they are, they play with the needles, play with the yarn. Let's see what else I have. I think that's it for what I have to put together. A lot of the stuff, like here's the Matilda skeins, but I'll take you through all this stuff when I get my booth set up at the festival. I'll bring my GoPro and I'll just sort of take you through my whole booth. But here's what I was talking about, where I have to create the label. So this I print out. I have a little template that I use. And then in my e-commerce software, there's a barcoding app, which I can create barcodes for this product. I put the price on there just because people like to see a big bold price. So that's for the bats. And then the yarn, I just did this little mini skein of Elara yesterday. With the yarn, I also have to get the length of the skein, so it's kind of an estimate that I do. And then there's the picture of beautiful Elara, and that one's barcoded. So these three are all ready to go. So I'm going to get to work, and then I think the next time I talk with you guys will be at the booth. I think I'll get it set up. Maybe I'll video a little bit of that, but I don't know, that's kind of played. And then once I get the booth set up, I'll take you all through it and show you all the stuff that's there. It's gonna be really fun. Okay, so here's my checkout area of my booth. And there's my drop spindles, the gateway drug, I joke. Get people quick lessons on how to use a drop spindle. It's the first step towards becoming a hand spinner. Brought a small selection of Magic Craft with me. This was an Indie Dyers Spectrum, so a lot more knitters than spinners were there, but I really just wanted to show that I do carry all the spares and can support your Magic Craft needs. And then I had, this section was for all of my worsted weight spun. There's the thrum display and also the fingerless mitts for the self-striping yarn. I've got one skein of that, so I put that out. Those are all my hand-processed bats for hand spinners. There's Ty's fleece I talked to you about. My wool balls. And there's those colored skeins. And then on this is all the mill spun yarn. And then I also have a couple examples of items I've made with the mill spun yarn. Felting kits. I really need to work on getting a better packaging for that. And then all the bumbly yarn stuff set up there. Stuff I made, some yarn, and then those bags of bumbly fiber that's washed and ready to spin. And then, of course, I put the wheels out. I have little information cards for each wheel. So there's the Rose, the Susie, and the Pioneer. And there's wool in the background. And then up in the front, there's my fancy sign. And the other two wheels, the Little Gem and the Aura. And I did bring the Fusion Carder. I didn't have a chance to demonstrate that. Just was really busy. And then here's somebody that sat with me for quite a while, falling in love with her Susie wheel. was really fun. Just hanging out. So I'm back home. It's Sunday morning, actually Sunday afternoon. I've been working on my video, and I just had a really great time yesterday. I felt like it was really successful. I had 15 people enter my drawing, which means 15 people demoed a wheel, and that was really fun. I think a lot of it was some of the work I did beforehand, social media wise, that people, wanted people to do it. I did have the sign up. So right now what I want to do is do the drawing. So whoever I select out of this is somebody that demoed a wheel, and then they just gave me their contact information. And if I select, whoever I select is going to get $50 of store credit towards any Magic Craft item. And here she is. Or he. I did actually have a couple guys. And the person who's getting the prize is Lillian. I'm not going to say your last name, but I will be reaching out to you with your discount code. So congratulations. So I think I'm going to do this for the next few events. It's a lot of fun, and I do feel like it encourages people to try the wheels. And you just have to try these wheels. They're just too wonderful not to take a spin. So now all I have to do, I've got to unload the van, put everything away, and then I will turn on any fiber that I didn't sell. I'll put that active and available on the online store. So I'll probably have that turned on Monday, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get everything organized, because I have to take photos and everything. I haven't done that yet. So the segment I did on the tilt table, there was a lot of missing footage there that I think it was just technical issues. So for the purposes of just information, we've got the tilt table. We did quite a few, experiments and stuff before we actually did the deworming. That was the big project that we did. And the video footage I got was when we first started. As we got into it more, we realized close the pads on the sheep, because when you open them, they're more likely to run out. And just a couple other tricks. We do need to, at this point, we need to pick them up and lift them and put them in the table, because they're just not comfortable with it. But I think after 3 times, the ewes are very clever. I've trained them to do things that are against the grain for them. Like when I used to have to sort out the yearlings during lambing, and they all go in that pen, and then after 3 days, they end up single file going and all on their own. So I figure, 2 or 3 tries, and they will be used to it and, working through it correctly. I'm expecting the delivery of the balance of the equipment any day. I was told mid-September. And then I'll do a full-on video of the entire system, how it's set up and how we're going to use it and stuff. So thanks again to everybody that came to the festival yesterday and who tried a wheel. And it was really great to see everybody. I enjoy those events so much. So my next event is this coming Saturday. We're going to be doing a musical wheels event at the Guild in Rochester, Genesee Valley Hand Spinners Guild. I'll put a link to that event. It's a Facebook event if you wanted to, if you're local here and you want to go to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of different types of wheels. I'm looking forward to spinning on a great wheel. I've never done that before, so I hope I see you there. And if it doesn't suit, or if you're not a local person, hope you're enjoying the festival season. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.